Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of COXtales. I'm thrilled to be reconnecting with my friend RL. We haven't seen each other since we bumped into each other at the airport about a year ago, and I'm really excited to catch up with him and talk about his new projects and his career and just reconnect. So, check it out now.
Easy way to leave, easy way to go.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm hanging with RL. We finally got a chance to catch up. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. This pandemic has really revealed a lot. How is it? How
Yeah,
has it been for you?
it's actually been cool, considering because I don't leave the house anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
I guess being in the industry starting so young, you kind of get jaded. So it's like when I could be in the house, it's perfect. And early on, I learned get a studio, get everything you need at home. So I really don't have to leave the house unless it's, picking up my daughter or picking
Right.
up packages or something like that. So, besides, everything that's happening with people that, I know we're praying for, life for me is pretty normal besides having to put on a mask when I leave, which I rarely do anyway.
Right. Right. So you're a homebody. Like you like to have a compound, have your studio, everything that you need. You ain't got to leave, go nowhere.
Yeah, because I'm that guy that gets super comfortable around people, and I'm thinking everybody is my friend. So I'm just talking and being myself, and
Right.
I'm the inappropriate jokester, and I had to learn, like, you know what,
Can't say that
everybody
in front of
everybody
everybody.
yeah, but everybody will be around you laughing along with you like they all down. And then when you leave the room, they like, can you believe? So I had to learn,
Mm.
like, I know I'm super trusting. So I need to just make sure I'm around people that I know I can really trust.
Yeah, yeah, that's real talk. Where did you grow up?
Minneapolis, north side of Minneapolis. Yeah.
I didn't know that until after our duet.
For real?
Isn't that for some reason? I don't know. I always thought you were from Houston.
Oh, wow. A lot of people thought Jersey because Naughty by Nature. So they thought Jersey, most
Yes,
people.
yes, yeah. I
But not,
never would
yeah.
have thought. So you grew up in Minneapolis. Tell me about that growing up there, and because that's kind of like Canada.
Yeah. Well, it was a mecca for music in a lot of ways because
Yes.
my mother really grew up with Prince, and I used to think, yeah, right, whatever, because my mom, she had a little thing from Purple Rain and all that until I ran into
Wait. Okay.
Prince.
Talk about that. Wait.
Well,
What?
yeah, well, my mother, everybody says they grew up, with somebody just like
With a
now. I didn't tell people to tell people, yeah, I grew up with him, but I didn't have any friends growing up. So it's like,
right.
yeah, right. But my mom would say that her and my uncle, they'd be like, no, he used to be over here, at your grandma's house. And his
Wow.
mother's house was a block and a half away until one day I was outside of a nightclub and Prince pulls up. So I walk up to the window and I'm stuttering. I'm trying to explain to him who I am. He goes, I know exactly who you are. You're Tony's son. And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
yeah. And I'm like, I would love to work with you. And he was like, as long as it's without them. And I thought he about to say my group members. And I ain't gonna lie, I was gonna be like, okay. And he was like, he was like the labels and drove off. So I was like,
Wow.
dude, don't rock with us. But literally a week later, we all got invited out to Paisley Park. Like we had been invited maybe 2 or 3 times to come out while he had a little jam session. So it was
Right.
super cool. But yeah, my mother really had grown up with Prince. But being out there for me, um, it was a time that singing wasn't cool. Being in a singing group, you had to be a rapper or an athlete. So they were pretty
Mm.
cruel on me, but all I did was make me push even harder. I wanted it
Yeah.
that much more because I wanted to show people, no, watch, this is really going to happen. But I had a record deal offer for rapping first with Maverick Records, Madonna's label. So I was a rapper
Really?
first, but I wanted
You
to
were a
sing so
rapper,
bad.
RL? Wow.
Yeah, I
But
was
you
a
know what I
rapper.
think? I think that's really super cool because it just shows that you have always been evolving and changing and growing into yourself. You know what I
I've been
mean? And I
trying.
think a
Yeah.
lot of a lot of the times as artists we come into the business one way and the label or the A&R or everybody else shapes who you are. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But what I've always really liked about your career is that you set yourself apart from not just as a solo artist, but you do things with the group, you do things solo. You're a songwriter, you're a producer. You have all these gifts that you're
Thank you.
using, and it's great to see.
Well, it's funny because the big blessing that we always had was being that young. I was able to write records from the beginning, like Bundle of them, 18, 19,
Right.
and Clive and them and KG allowing me to be able to do that. You hear all these horror
That's true.
stories from other
Yeah.
artists where their publishing was taken, something was done. For me, I can honestly look back at those records and go, well, they were mine. Like they let me
Yeah.
do my thing. So that's the blessing that I look, even though I wish there were more things that could have happened, the politics with labels and
Right.
all the things that go on, those nightmares are the worst. But I can honestly say I can live off of what I did all those years ago
Yeah.
because I wasn't taken advantage of.
Yeah. Yeah. And look, you were blessed, to have that journey that God chose for you,
Right?
you
You're
know?
right.
That and that is there's something to be said about that. So let's talk about We Can't Be Friends, because we got to talk about that moment. And how everybody wants more, or they want for me, I've always felt like the great songs that resonate, that touch people, that become really iconic, they're hard to duplicate.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
Eh, I, I
Right?
I agree. When people try, it's almost like it's cheesy. Like, come on, it has to be organic, and a lot of times it's not. But I tell people, I was mad at you, man. I was so mad. I used to see you with Kenny Lattimore, and I used to be on my Eddie Kane, like that's supposed to be me. I used to be so jealous, but I'd be
What?
like, yeah, because y'all would perform it, and I'd be like, I want to perform it. We only performed it one
We
time,
only
so I used to
performed
be
it
like,
one time, and I think the
Lady
one
of
time
Soul,
where it mattered. The one
yeah,
time
Lady of
where it really
Soul,
mattered. Yeah,
yeah,
because I think that was the time that it was its most epic, where it
right, yeah,
resonated and reached so many people. And we got an opportunity to that perform the song in the way that it should be performed, which is
yeah.
recreate
The
what the
video.
feeling is and the mood and the video. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Right.
I've been hoping that one day, because I see a lot of like BET Awards and all these different shows where
Hmm.
artists come back and they do their classics.
Yes.
You look exactly the same.
We
So
both
I'm
do.
like, so I'm like, they got to. I've been waiting, like, okay, this call is gonna come. I already know, and I've been just waiting, and I
In
know
God's time,
eventually
you
it
know
will.
how it will. You
Yeah,
know it will. You know it will, because again, trying to recreate, we are in a whole different time now, and this is like the endless love. This is
yeah,
one of
yeah.
those songs that I really truly feel will have its moment again, where we do it live in the right setting, you
I
know?
agree. I agree.
Yeah, yeah. And you've done so many incredible things since then. I've
Thank you.
watched your career from afar. I've branched off and done a whole bunch of other things that I've always wanted to get back to.
Yeah.
So again, the journey, God's plan for us is different, than what we
No,
think
you're
for
right.
ourselves, right?
I agree. I agree. It's funny because I always tell people, they'll say, well, how was it? And how did you feel when you did that record? And I'm like, I was nervous because I tell people, you were Wakanda before there was Wakanda. You had the muscles and everything. And it was like, it was like the first thing I had done outside of my group. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So it was
yes.
like, I have this Canadian goddess right here. And it's like, I got to just try to keep up. And I remember recording the record. They sent me the files,
Yeah.
and I was by myself in Detroit. I had to go
Oh,
in the
you
studio.
were?
Yeah, and I didn't even know what I was doing. I just sang as hard as I could. And they were like, that's good. That's not it. So went to LA, and that's when Shep and Montel, tutored me and showed me what to do. But I was so nervous
I
because
didn't know
you're
that.
you're a hard act to follow. Like, come on, like
No,
you.
listen. I think a lot of people I think there's a slight intimidation because of the vocals, or maybe because of the way I sing, but I don't think people realize and understand that I'm a team player when it comes to the work and when it comes to
Right.
the vision, and I always want the vision to be carried out, you know. So when Shep was like, "Listen, you and RL you guys have to make this sound like, you know, you're pulling each other's heart out because you need each other." It's like acting. And it was the
Yeah.
same. I don't know if you remember when we did the video,
The
Little
video,
X
of
was the
course,
same way.
he put us in separate rooms. Like,
Yes.
listen, no more joking, no more laughing. I
Right.
need you. I need tears. I need this. And people don't realize we really had to
We
really. They're like, that's fake. I'm like, nah. We had to.
Nah, no, that was real. We had to go to a place, whatever that place
Uh-huh.
was, to bring out that emotion. I mean, that's acting, you know? And I
Right.
think that was the magic of that moment in the video that RL, listen, the tear.
And people always think it's fake. I'm like, nah. Like
Nah, that was real.
he's like, what can make you cry? I'm like, my grandfather. Like he's here. I'm like, no, he passed. Think about your grandfather. I'm like, okay, X, I got you. And it was like, man.
Wow. No, you absolutely were. You lived up to the moment, exceeded the moment. Everything that you added and did to the song was what made it the Deborah, you know, I can't go on being. I mean,
Being just your
you
friend.
sang. See, you personalized it. You know what I mean? You didn't just sing the song, but you made the song your own. It's very, very difficult for anybody to follow
Yeah, but
you
no, that's
doing
you
that.
because to be honest, they always say a great woman makes a man better. And I don't think that's just relationship wise because on this record, work wise, I remember the video we had to go take pictures and stuff
Yeah.
like it was like it was funny as I don't know what.
A
And,
lot of people don't know that Little
and
X is was it his auntie? I think it was
I
his
think
aunt
so.
in one of the shows.
So it was like I'm already like, man, and then
Right.
it was just incredible. It was my growing up moment because I
Right.
honestly never thought I could really accomplish much outside of the cocoon of Next. But
Mm,
you challenged me and showed me like, okay, there were certain moments in my career. It was that. It was the Best Man with Jimmy and Terry, things
yeah.
like that that really made me go, maybe I do belong. Because you at first you're
Oh,
winging it. You're like, maybe I'm winging it. Let's
right,
see how
right.
long this before people realize I'm not as good as I think I am.
Oh,
And honestly,
I know what
there
you're
are certain
thinking though.
measuring there's certain measuring sticks in my career. And to be honest, you in that situation were one of the biggest ones to make me go, maybe I can have, a career with this.
Wow. Wow. You know that, and that is what this is all about, is talking about just the transition that we
Right.
all go through, RL. We all go through it. As much as on the outside it might look like we have it all together, a lot of the times we're just, like
We-
you said, winging it, trying to figure out with family, with our spouses, with the world around us, with our friends, with our industry friends, you know, just trying to figure it out. But I think what I've learned most about this whole thing and working with you is that you just have to pour yourself into it, pour yourself into the art, and just create, you know, something great that you can look back on and go, wow,
Yeah.
you know, we did
Yeah.
that. We did that. You know, the
Yeah.
moment for me was when I would be at award shows or different events and people would come up to me. Mary J was like, girl, that song, you and RL. Like, I mean, everybody, Luther, Whitney, I mean, everybody, you know what I mean? People that that were my peers, people, you know what I mean? You always want that song that everybody goes, that one.
But it's funny because I'll hear stories like that, and you'll be like, Mary. I'm like, Mary knew my name, or these are
Right.
people that I was in my kitchen rewinding or their tape or playing the CDs, trying to emulate them. So to know that they were paying attention or we did some art that they appreciated, that
Yes,
is super big. Okay, yeah, don't all the viewers understand. We love that, quote unquote fans, they like things, but when your peers, because a
exactly.
lot of times their first inclination is to have hate because you're competition to an extent. But
Right.
when they give you your flowers and show you love like that, it's a different kind of feeling.
It really is. It really, really is. Let's talk about The Best Man.
Okay,
Great song.
thank you.
Great, great song. Tell us about some of the other songs that you've written. What inspires you? What makes you sort of come outside of Next to do RL, to do you?
Oh well, it's funny because maybe a week ago I jumped into Jimmy Jam's. He had a live,
Oh,
and
okay.
I've had a chip on my shoulder because of Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis for more than my career, like before my career even
Really?
started. Because the group Low Key, I got a thing for you, baby. They
Yeah.
were signed to Jim and Terry. They really discovered us, and those demos are what got to KG, and that's how we got put on. But we sang for Jimmy and Terry first, and they didn't sign us. My cousin worked for the label. Like literally, I'm like, okay, this is on. I'm from Minneapolis. They're from Minneapolis. I'm like,
Right.
this is perfect. This is gonna happen. They didn't sign us. They ended up doing solo. That group, Tell Me Where You Want Me to
So
Put
I
It.
remember that. Yeah.
They had them. So for all these years, I felt like I had to prove to them that I was worthy. Like I idolized them.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
the first time that I worked with them after I had some success was The Best Man. So I'm straight off a tour. Clive allowed me to do it because Clive used to be like, no, he almost didn't let me do Tupac. So he'd be like, no, you can't do this. And I would always go, well, I did Deborah because he the one that hit me like, be here, do this, go
Right.
here. Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah.
So he finally let me do the thing with Jimmy and Terry. But I'm in the studio and that beginning, all that talking, this for my boys in the hood, and the high rise, and that ending, my brother, I made all that up because Jimmy and Terry wrote and produced a record with Big Jim, rest in peace.
Yeah.
But I was going so hard to show them, like, look, see, I got talent. You guys should have signed me. Well,
Oh,
literally a week ago, he's on with Cam, and he talks about the session. And this is the first time I had done something with other guys that were kind of my peers, but I was the only one that was in a group out of all of those guys. So
right.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel super like, let me just sit back and I'll go first. That's why I sing first. Like whatever you need
Right.
me to do, I know I'm just the extra guy from the group, whatever. Well, Jimmy starts talking about how I was cheerleading for Genuine and how I was showing Tyrese what to do. And I didn't even know he noticed. Then he goes, I actually did that guy a favor. So I'm watching, I'm like, how? After all these years, he says, we were in a messed up label situation and we really wanted to sign them, but we didn't want them to be involved in this messed up situation. So that's
Wow.
why we didn't. All these years, I never knew. I literally had tears rolling
Right.
down my face because
Oh
all
my
this time
gosh. You thought,
I've held, it was just
oh
like,
my
wow.
gosh.
And it was incredible. So there's only a few records that I've really been involved with that I
Yeah.
didn't have a hand in writing,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I go extra hard to say like Montel's one of my favorite people in the world. I love
Mm-hmm.
Shep,
Yeah.
Jimmy and Terry. But when it comes to me writing outside of the group, I knew the group were kind of like bad boys. You know, we would talk the sensual type things, and I always said I wanted to do any and everything. And I
Right.
know in pop music, if a guy that's in a band or a group does an outside project, they don't say he left the group. He's
Right.
doing outside projects. But when
Right.
it's urban music, it becomes he left the group or he's
Becomes he
done this.
left and it, yeah. Yeah.
And I've always wanted to do it all. Like
Yeah.
I want to get to heaven and I want God to look at me and go, I see what you did. Every piece of talent that I gave you, you tried to exceed and tried to use every ounce of blessings that I gave you. That's
There
what
you
I want to
go.
do. And that's nothing against the group, but I'll sing happy birthday at a funeral. I'll perform
Mhm.
something at a bar mitzvah. I just want to continue to use my talent to be a blessing to others and to provide for my family.
Yeah. And provide for others because that's what you do. When you are a blessing, you bless others. And that's what you've
Yeah.
done, RL. I mean, you've done an amazing job
Thank
at
you.
navigating your career, staying above the fray, um, just inspiring others, other male vocalists. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times if I do shows, the singers, the amount of male singers that want to do your part. I'm telling you, I'm inundated with, and I'm just like, nope,
One day
we
I'm gonna
will.
walk out. One day I'm gonna just surprise you and walk out. I'm gonna just
Yes.
walk out on stage like, sis, I'm here. And they're gonna be like, what? Because we took
Yes.
that picture in the airport like a year and some change
How
ago.
crazy
And,
is that? How random is that? I said, that was so random. In the airport, we run into each other on
and
a
became a
Sunday.
meme. And
Yes.
became a meme. He became a meme. I was like, oh.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. But God has got so much more in store. Tell us about the new single as well and the new music you got.
Okay, so we just did the Get to You, which I flipped the Janet joint. I got a whole EP that I gave away for free. It's called the Letter J, where I sampled Janet, John B, and two Jodeci records. And we're shooting videos, but
Okay.
each video is 60 seconds. It's called Simple 60 because on
Nice.
social media you
Yeah.
can only repost something up to
That's it.
60
60
seconds.
seconds. Yep.
And, and it's like, for me, it's like the grocery store on a Saturday. You never bring your kids to the grocery store because they're giving out samples. And if it's good, mommy, can we go get it? Mommy, can we? So I'm trying to give out samples because I don't mind reproving myself to our audience. I think it's harder for the core audience that we're used to because they're not on social media
Right.
buying music like that or
Right.
streaming like that. And they're trying to find ways to get music. It used to be Tuesdays. It wasn't even Fridays. Tuesdays, new
It's
music.
just, yeah.
And now we're trying to navigate and find ways to get our music to the audience because they
Yeah.
want it. We're doing sold out shows. People are
Yeah.
coming to the concerts. So
Yeah.
this was my reintroduction to the audience to put out new music. And literally, I'm sitting on hundreds of records. We have the Next by Nature project coming, which will probably be the last Next project, but it's with Naughty. We got an
Right.
EP
Right.
with that.
Dope.
I have a Afro Beats project that I'm working on, but I call it Afro Sheets because I got to make it sexy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm loving creating again, and I engineer myself and produce a lot of my stuff.
That's
So
what
I'm
people
just
don't
really
know.
happy.
That's awesome, RL. That's amazing.
Thank
Love,
you,
love, love it. Well, continued success to you.
thank you.
Keep doing your thing. I'm gonna check back in with you again. When you have some when the videos are done, we'll just.
Where's my guy at? Tell him I said what's
I
up.
will. I will.
I know he's a.
We're
Tell him.
homeschooling.
You're right, right. Tell him I
Homeschooling
said
now.
hey.
I will. I will.
His energy was so great, and it taught me a lot about maturity and relationships for when I was going to be in a relationship because he was right there, like, do your job, do
Yeah.
what you do. And it was so much respect that I gained to understand because me as a kid and being insecure, not having a relationship at the time,
Right.
I didn't understand. I was like, wow, that's dope. But as a grown man, I'm like, I look back at certain moments and I've learned from just
Mm,
watching people like him. So tell
right.
him I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Will do. Thank you for your time. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
energy. Please give your family my love. I'll
You
check
do the
in with you
same.
again,
Okay.
and we'll talk real soon.
Okay. I appreciate it, sis. Take care.
Mwah. Take care.
Bye.
I don't care where you are, you're never too far from me. 'Cause I gotta get to you.